So for all of us here at NBC News, stay safe and have a great night.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Tokyo 21, brought to you locally by IT&E. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit carsplusguam.com for details. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Now on primetime, Guam's governor held a press conference urging her fellow Guamanians to get vaccinated so our community can fully reopen. Plus, despite repeated inquiries by lawmakers, the governor has yet to release her plans for American Rescue Plan funding. And the possible groundbreaking for a new home of the Sharks up in Jigo is in the future.
Hafa good evening, everyone. Guahusi Isaiah Uggan, and thanks for tuning in. With less than 2 days to go before the July 21st Operation Liberate Guam target date, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero held a news conference to appeal to residents to get vaccinated so she can fully reopen the island. KUAM's Nestor Lecanto reports.
At the current 78.27% vaccination rate, we are less than 2% away from the governor's 80% goal. To get there by Wednesday, she is particularly appealing to those who got the first dose and didn't come back for the second.
If you are one of the over 4,000 who have yet to get your second dose, please come out today or tomorrow. Every shot counts. As we've seen throughout this pandemic, this is an evolving situation, and experts now call this a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The governor says those who remain unvaccinated account for 90% of new infections and deaths. Public Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Felix Cabrera says there are more than 3,800 who are more than 21 days past due.
Now, I'm going to be very clear here. There's nothing wrong with coming back and still getting that second dose. The CDC and the WHO still say it's okay to come and get it, even though you're very far out from your first dose. This is not a time to be maula or embarrassed and think that you're going to be called out for any of this. You're not. In fact, you're going to be applauded.
Meanwhile, Public Health Director Art San Agustin says they have launched a phone bank to try and reach those who lack the second dose and will continue to make it as convenient as possible to get vaccinated with multiple sites across the island.
We must, as a community, come together, as we have in prior emergencies, to stand together in this instance to get vaccinated, to protect ourselves, our family, our friends, our community, and our economy, to protect the health of our community.
The governor says if we don't reach the 80% vaccination rate by the July 21st target, she will not fully reopen the island. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
In another hot-button issue, the governor responded to a request by Senator Jim Moylan to call a special legislative session so lawmakers can amend the RISE Act. That's the law passed last year that's supposed to pay out $800 and $1,600 in local pandemic assistance. In his letter, Moylan says the proposed amendments would include starting the payouts within 1 month of the bill's passage, increasing the amounts to $1,000 per individual and $2,000 per couple, and removing the $30 million cap so all who are eligible will get paid.
The RISE Act, I believe, as written with the additions that I've made, is we'll be able to meet the needs of our people. Special sessions, Nestor, are usually for emergencies. And I'm sorry, but I don't consider his request as an emergency. I don't also feel that maybe his serious concerns are that serious because he brought up those concerns during the deliberation of the RISE Act, and they were not supported by his colleagues.
The governor also took issue with a passage in Moylan's letter, which she says is an affront to her plan to travel to Washington, where she will also lay a wreath at the World War II Memorial in honor of fallen Chamorros. In other news, don't expect the release of the governor's spending plan for American Rescue Plan funds anytime soon. And despite repeated calls by the legislature, Budget Director Lester Carlson says senators may not even have it in time for next month's budget deliberations. Nestor Lecanto has more.
Budget Director Carlson says the deadline to submit questions may have been this past weekend, but there's no telling when the final guidance will be released. He says the Treasury Department still needs to review all the comments before it issues the final rules. He says only then will the administration release its plan.
And when we review what is and isn't eligible, it'll guide the governor's spending plan.
He concedes there's a good chance that senators won't have the governor's spending plan when they go into the budget session next month. Lawmakers were pushing to know if and how much from ARP funds would be provided to the agencies so they could adjust accordingly. Carlson says they already have all the information they need to pass a budget.
So we provided that in form of the executive budget request to them in January of this year, well before the ARP funds were passed into law. So there is a revenue projection, there is allocation of revenues, both general fund and special fund, and it's the legislature's primary responsibility to take the revenues of the government of Guam and ascertain what levels they will come in and allocate those revenues accordingly. That's their job.
By law, the legislature must pass a budget by the end of August. During budget hearings, senators have repeatedly asked agency heads how much additional funding they've asked for and how much they might be getting from ARP funds. The response has generally been, they don't know. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The Office of Public Accountability got a response, but they're not buying it. We're talking about the governor's office response to the way they handled the procurement of quarantine and isolation facilities last year. You may recall the governor had assigned her legal counsel at the time to handle the procurement of the QFAC and ISOFACs. The entire procurement led to an oversight hearing to get to the bottom of how they were done and paid without any contract signed other than the governor issuing a memo to pay out invoices. The governor's legal counsel and the governor's office justify the procurements as emergency purchases. The OPA, however, has a much different opinion, saying the governor's office, one, lacked procurement authority to procure quarantine and isolation facilities. Two, the governor's legal counsel had a conflict of interest with one of the awarded facilities. Three, there was an incomplete procurement record. And four, the quarantine and isolation facility contracts did not conform to the requirements set forth in the governor's executive order and Guam procurement law. As a result, the OPA noted $3 million in question costs. Even after reviewing the governor's office response disagreeing with the report, the OPA hasn't swayed, commenting that their audit findings and recommendations generally remain the same. There was overwhelming support for the nomination of attorney Alberto Tolentino as the next Superior Court judge. Senators held a confirmation hearing Friday night where many members of the legal community testified that Tolentino has the background, experience, and temperament required to be a good judge. Tolentino was asked how he would approach a case, particularly one involving an issue he may not have experience in.
Part of it is the education that you receive from the lawyers themselves as they're zealously but ethically advocating on the part of their clients. Part of it comes from your own research, from your law clerk and yourself. I enjoy the research aspect of it. I would always come up to speed on cases when I was sitting as a magistrate on things that I had never seen before. And at the end of everything, what I ended up doing was deciding that I know enough of the issues to go forward. Parties, give me the argument for and against each side, all right, and let me decide where the dispute is.
Attorney Tolentino has served as a magistrate judge, a prosecutor with the Attorney General's office, and in private practice. He was nominated in March by Governor Leon Guerrero to replace the now retired judge, Anita Socola. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have 2 of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
While we've all been through a lot over the years, typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19, we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years, KUAM's insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
And the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Triple bacon cheese.
How's that song coming along?
That's for me?
Oh, no. You're making music. I don't want to get in your way.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh. Hang on a second. My triple bacon cheesy jack combo. Only at Jack in the Box.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. Federal law may ban cockfighting, but according to animal rights groups, more than 1,300 illegal shipments of fighting birds have been shipped to Guam between January and June of this year. According to Animal Wellness Action and the Animal Wellness Foundation, based on shipping records from the Guam Department of Agriculture, that is a 600% increase in illegal shipments. AWA President Wayne Pacell says the people sending and receiving these fighting animals are lawbreakers participating in conduct that allows prosecutors to impose felony-level penalties upon perpetrators. Senator Pito Talahi was the author of an amendment that became law recognizing cockfighting as a cultural practice. The senator, in a statement at the time, said that although cockfighting was prohibited by federal law, it is legal under local law. In response to today's report, the senator said the Animal Wellness Foundation and Wayne Pacell are at it again, interfering with the culture of the people of Guam. There is a controversial ruling out of the district court involving the ongoing Archdiocese of Agana bankruptcy case. The local church filed for bankruptcy following the onslaught of hundreds of sex abuse cases. Chief Judge Francis Sidinko Gatewood has issued a partial judgment on whether Archdiocese schools and parish should be included as assets to pay off the settlements. The Chief Judge deemed that the parishes and schools are in fact unincorporated divisions of the Archdiocese of Agana. A motion for permission to travel was granted for MMA fighter and drug defendant Ricky Camp. Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan granted the motion that would allow Camp to travel to Arizona and Texas for an upcoming fight. It's noted that there were no objections to the motion because Camp has complied with his conditions of release and has submitted all documents needed for the trip to probation. He was arrested in November of 2019 for allegedly bringing in approximately 5 pounds of meth through the mail. Camp has not been indicted of any federal drug charges. He will return to Guam on August 5th, to which he will then submit a drug and alcohol test within 24 hours. A brand new learning institution for the home of the Sharks in Jigu may soon become a reality. Breaking ground for a new Simon Sanchez High School may take place within 10 to 11 months from now. Guam Department of Education Superintendent John Fernandez told Chairman of Finance and Budget, Senator Joe San Augustine, at a budget hearing recently that 30% of the new facility's design is completed.
The timeline right now would
foresees groundbreaking probably around May or June of next year. We'd like to see it move up, but it really will, we're looking at moving that up as much as possible. A lot of that takes the stars aligning and, perfectly to make that happen.
By this fall, Fernandez said the next step is to bring on construction management support to help the department monitor and manage the project.
As we get to the later parts of design and start the solicitation for the next round, the solicitation that will go out is with construction management, and then the final one would be for construction and financing. That's the vendor that's going to take the drawings at the 100% design and then bid on it, and hopefully be able to be awarded and break ground within that time frame.
The design is being developed by a planning committee based out of Simon Sanchez stakeholders.
What they've been able to do is come up with conceptual design. They've been walking through we told them walk through the other schools like JFK and Okudu and make sure we're not going too big or too small, because we know that costs are going up. And so we're trying to be very, we're trying to focus in on making sure this is cost effective.
A public briefing on the updates of the new school may happen a month from now, according to Fernandez.
Coming up, sports with Dave Delgado. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
You may ask yourself, what is a blue raspberry? Or a pink lemon? Or even a strawberry watermelon? But they taste so good in these Minute Maid slushies from McDonald's. Who cares? It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink.
Get up and move, Guam! Join the mayors of Talafofo and Inilahan for Haan and Minagov, a great day to celebrate the reopening of our island at the Valley of the Latte, Saturday, July 31st from 10 to 5 p.m. Local artists, farmers, and Guam-made products will be on hand while you enjoy performances from our best cultural entertainers and musicians. Enjoy the finest food that Southern Guam has to offer. Help us open our newest attraction, the Micronesia Cultural Village. Tickets can be purchased online at valleyofthelatte.com. Haan and Minagov is brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau, Guam Economic Development Authority, Valley of the Latte, Jungle Riverboat Cruise, Kloppenburg Enterprises, Para Ipribetsu Itautauta, the Guam Brewery, Island Beverage Distributors, and the stations of KUAM.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight on the show, we introduce you to Raquela Aquino, our Olympic wrestler representing Guam at this year's games. Check it out. Raquela Aquino and her sister Mia have been wrestling since they were 4 and 5 years old. Raquela is wrestling in the 53-kilogram weight class. Her resume includes competitions in Budapest, Kazakhstan, Tahiti, New Zealand, and Japan.
It's a big deal because this is something that I've been dreaming about since I was a little girl, and
just to be able to finally, accomplish that dream, it means a lot to me and to my club. I'm so happy to be able to validate my club like this, to show that we're on the right track.
Raquela and her club are definitely on the right track, as Aquino won a silver medal at the 2021 African and Oceania Wrestling Olympic Qualification Tournament held in Tunisia.
Being able to qualify my own, I hope that I can show these younger kids that you can. You just have to put in the work. You have to, dream big and work for it too. I'm sad that my sister didn't qualify, but this win is for her, for me, and for my island, and for my club.
The grind never stopped for Raquela as she hit the mats 6 days a week with 2 sessions a day. Her weight class will be a tough one, but she says she'll be bringing her A game. She has medaled in the Oceania Championships, Micro Games, and Asian Indoor Martial Arts Game.
This is my first run, so I'm just going to try to do my best to represent my island well, to compete. I always try to represent Guam with pride and to show our island that we can compete too. And after this, I'm looking to do multiple runs.
After defeating wrestlers from Madagascar and Tunisia, Raquela earned her Olympic spot. This is historic for the island as she becomes the first female wrestler to qualify for the Olympic Games on merit.
I'd like to just say thank you to my club, Food Ocean Fitness, Food Ocean Wrestling Club, my coaches, my training partners, my mom, and my family. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Turning over to some soccer news, Guam women's national team coaches will be selecting the strongest team available when the Masakata return to compete at the AFC Women's Asian Cup in September for the first time since 2003. Head coach Sang-Hoon Kim and assistant coach Rhoda Bombar in San Diego for a talent identification camp set up for mainly Guam-eligible players from abroad at the Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Center, while the domestic squad of players continue to train twice weekly at the Guam Football Association National Training Center. A June 24th draw at the AFC House in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, revealed Guam's 3 opponents in September's qualification round: Myanmar, United Arab Emirates, and Lebanon. The tournament will be played September 13th through the 25th. The host venue has not yet been finalized. Kim will be making his preliminary roster selection for the AFC tournament after the conclusion of the camp, and the final roster selection closer to tournament dates in September.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
It only gets better with more. Customize and save with the fastest internet speeds in the Marianas by adding mobile, phone, and TV to your bundle with Business Bundles Plus. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Bun, mayo, chicken pickle, bun.
Bun, pickle,
Blasphemy!
No bun. The Naked Chicken Chalupa, only at Taco Bell.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus, we have the perfect Jeep for your summer adventures. Whether you're going off-road or just getting ready to hit the beach down south, make this the summer event you find your Jeep, like the 2021 Jeep Wrangler or the 2021 Jeep Gladiator, equipped with Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to schedule a test drive today. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Welcome back. We continue with our weekly segment highlighting some of the island's businesses who are Guam Safe certified by the Guam Visitors Bureau and have the World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travel stamp. Tonight we feature McDonald's of Guam.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Hi, my name is Davina Evaristo. I'm the marketing manager for McDonald's of Guam and Saipan. McDonald's feels it's important to let our visitors and our local guests know that safety and sanitation are our utmost priority, and so that they and our employees can feel comfortable visiting our restaurants, getting their favorite foods and drinks, knowing that we take all the local public health guidelines and protocols and use McDonald's sanitation and cleaning protocols also. It gives us pride and we feel honored that McDonald's has been approved to use the Guam Safe Certified and WTTC Safe Travel stamp. We continue to require all our dine-in customers to sign in, sanitize, and take a temperature check. We sanitize tables and chairs in between customers. We require masks for both employees and customers inside the restaurant. Masks may be removed for active eating and drinking while seated at their table. They're not allowed to walk around without their masks. We also require proper hand washing or sanitizer in food handling, and we require gloves for employees in the food preparation areas. Employees go through wellness checks before starting their shifts, and we've installed protective panels on all order points between customers and staff. We have closed our self-serve beverage bar at the moment until it is legally safe to do so. Dine-in seating is spaced to allow for social distancing, so we've placed stickers on the tables in between allowable tables so we can provide distance. We feel ready and excited to welcome our tourist visitors again. We're actively hiring to increase our staffing and to reopen our Tumon location very soon. So join us in welcoming our tourists to a happy, safe, comfortable dine-in restaurant or drive-through experience.
Hi there, this is McDonald's. How can we take care of you? Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
For a complete list of Guam Safe Certified and WTTC Safe Travel Certified businesses, or if you would like to know more on how to receive such certification, log on to visitguam.com now. And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
If your name happens to be Lilibeth Samante Bunda, it is your happy birthday today on July 19th, and you are getting a shout out from your beloved husband, Edwin Glenn Bunda. Lilibeth, we at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery hope you have a fantastic birthday. And we also got a couple belated birthday wishes to get to, starting with Jose Gowi. Viva cumpleaños, Jose, who was born on the 16th. God bless us for being the first out of 7, and we all love you from the ends of eternity. God bless and protect you, says your family. And born on July 17th, Nathaniel Jordan Espano and Julie Nelson, who was born on the 18th. Happy belated birthday, Nate and Sissy J. We love and miss you from your Guam familia.
That's going to do it for us here on KUAM News Primetime. Wahoo si Isaiah Uggan. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Beyond Our Borders is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
Good day, everyone. Nestor Lecanto here, and thank you for joining us for a brand new special show that we're starting called Beyond Our Borders. And of course, everyone knows about the cultural, historical, and religious ties between Guam and the Philippines. So the focus of this show is going to be on the Philippines, some of its economic development, climate issues, and we've got today to launch us some very special guests. We have Eb Hinchliffe, who is the executive director of the American Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines. I think the oldest outside the country, I'm told. And we also have, yeah, and we also have Christopher Ilagan, who is the director of corporate affairs for Cargill. And if you guys don't know what Cargill is, it's a huge company. It's actually a Minnesota-based global food corporation that is, by revenue, the largest privately held corporation in the United States. So it's a big company. In case you haven't heard of it, and maybe you're not from the Pacific Northwest or near Minnesota, that's what Cargill is. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks.
All right, Chris, I'm I'm going to get to you about Cargill and maybe opening up shop on Guam because we need it. But first, let me start with Eb. Eb, tell us a little bit about first the American Chambers of Commerce in the Philippines. A little bit about its history and what its role is in the Philippines for American companies.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I was having internet problems, not unusual here in the Philippines. But just as you came on, I froze up. But it is a thank you so much, Nestor, for inviting AmCham Philippines to be part of the program today. And thanks so much for that. Also like to give a shout out, of course, as head of the American Chamber here. I'd like to give a shout out to my counterpart there, the president of Guam Chamber, Catherine Castro. Great job she's doing over there in Guam for the American Chambers. Just to, if you don't mind, just spend. I'd like to spend just a second and describe a little bit about what AmCham and AmCham Philippines and what we do. AmCham Philippines is the oldest chamber outside the United States. We're celebrating our 119th year. We started in 1902. And we're certainly we have about 800 members meaning corporate and individuals members. We have nationwide. We're
Are we getting a little bit stuck on your internet there? Let me see. Oh, there you go.
Main office, of course, is here in the National Capital Region in Makati, Philippines, but we also have the area, and we have. I think we got lost there for a second, did we?
Yeah, we're bouncing in and out. Don't mention your internet service provider yet, though.
But okay, let's try this again. It looks like the signal's back stronger. But anyway, I was just mentioning AmCham Philippines is nationwide. We have offices in Davao, Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro, and Jinsan. We have offices in Clark that covers Subic, Clark, and Baguio, North Luzon, and we have offices in Cebu that covers Bohol and that area. The AmCham overall, I mean, our purpose in life basically is there's several reasons people join, other than the main reason of being networking and business to business networking. Probably the main reason that Cargill is a member of AmCham might be because of advocacy. We have a lawyer that sits down at the Senate and the House that advises us of any bills that are going through that would affect, and we can talk about those later on, but they affect anything that affects business. We're here to serve the business community. You don't have to be an American or American company to be a member of AmCham. All you have to do is doing business between the two countries. The legislation part of it is big. The other part of it would be our, what we call committees or sector committees that deal on different sectors like agriculture and manufacturing, that Mr. Ilagan is chair of our two committees for those two. But we also have healthcare, the legislative committees, some of the big ones. ICT is probably the largest. These are held monthly meetings overall last year, and in 2020, even during the pandemic, AmCham did over 300 events. 250 of those were our committee meetings. Usually they're held monthly. But I think, we can, the biggest one that really is most active right now is our legislative committee. We have, AmCham has a very good relationship with the Philippine government. We have constantly in touch with the Senate President Soto or the